The Great Fishy Seas Jewel Battle. In a tiny aquarium at the Happy Paws Pet Shop, a grand adventure was about to unfold. It was closing time, the lights were dim, and the fish tank bubbled quietly, but the aquarium's residents were far from calm. Tonight was the night of the legendary Great Ship Battle of the Fishy Seas. Two fierce captains had long ruled the tank, Captain Bubbles, a proud, bright orange goldfish with a flashy tail, and Captain Finscary, a mysterious black angelfish with fins as sleek as a pirate's coat. Each had their own ship, their own crew, and their own mighty fish pride. Captain Bubbles steered his ship, the SS Seasheller, a big, glimmering shell he'd found at the bottom of the tank. Captain Finscary commanded the SS Driftwood, a piece of gnarly driftwood that looked perfect for a pirate's hideout. Both captains were determined to claim the prized Jewel of the Deep, a sparkly ring the pet shop owner's daughter had dropped into the tank just hours before. The jewel discovery Captain Bubbles spotted the Jewel of the Deep first. "Arr, by my whiskers, that's the shiniest treasure I ever did see," he declared, eyeing the glittering ring with a gleam. But Captain Finscary was just as eager. "Bah! That's no gem for a simple goldfish like ye, Bubbles. That sparkle belongs to the one true captain of Fishy Seas, me." With a flick of his tail, Captain Bubbles shouted, "We'll have ourselves a ship battle. Whoever captures the Jewel of the Deep first shall be named the King of Fishy Seas." Both crews cheered with excitement, ready for battle. The mighty crew Captain Bubbles' crew, the Glub Glub Gang, consisted of a colorful group of guppies and tetras who loved nothing more than a grand fish chase and a good snack. They flitted around the ship, buzzing with excitement. Captain Finscary's crew, the Slick Fins, were a rowdy gang of snails and shrimps who slithered and skittered about. They were sneaky, and nothing made them happier than pulling off a surprise sneak attack. As the two crews prepared, they turned the decorations of the aquarium into battlegrounds. Plastic seaweed turned into camouflaged hiding spots, tiny rocks became battlements, and the treasure chest decoration was declared neutral territory, a place for treaties. The battle begins with a loud bubble ho! Captain Bubbles shouted for his crew to advance. The Glub Glub Gang paddled into position, blowing bubbles in all directions to confuse the Slick Fins. On the other side of the tank, Captain Finscary shouted, "Slick Fins, activate the mighty snail slide." The snails gathered at the top of a small rock, and with a collective squirm, slid down toward the SS Seasheller, leaving a shiny trail of slime that sparkled in the tank light. The Glub Glub Gang yelped and tried to dodge, slipping and sliding as they tried to swim away from the gooey onslaught. Captain Bubbles, seeing his crew in trouble, cried out, "Guppy grapplers, to the rescue!" A pair of guppies darted forward, armed with bits of gravel, and started launching pebble cannonballs at the SS Driftwood. Captain Finscary laughed and ducked behind a plastic clam, while his Slick Fins fired back with sand shots, little clouds of sand blown from their hiding places. The jewel chase in the middle of the fray, the Jewel of the Deep sparkled tantalizingly, untouched by either team. Both captains spotted it at the same time and ordered a charge. Captain Bubbles, ever the show-off, led his team with a dramatic flip, his tail glinting under the tank light. "To the jewel!" he cried, rallying his crew. Captain Finscary, not to be outdone, slipped through a tunnel in the fake coral, shouting, "Slippery and sneaky wins the race." The two captains collided with a soft thump near the jewel, each grabbing one end of the ring with their mouths. They tugged, flipped, and wriggled, determined not to let go. "Give it up, Finscary," mumbled Captain Bubbles through the side of his mouth. "It's too shiny for the likes of you." Captain Finscary huffed. Bah! Shiny things are meant for dark fish like me. The jewel slipped from their grasp and tumbled down to the gravel. The captains watched as their crews swarmed around it, each trying to grab it and swim back to their ships. A guppy from the Glub Glub gang snagged it first, only to be nudged aside by a particularly determined snail from the slick fins. Back and forth, the jewel went, sliding, tumbling, and spinning as fish and snails pushed and pulled, each team getting tangled in plastic plants and bumping into the glass as they went. The final splash, the two captains saw their crews struggling and decided to work together, just this once. They nudged the jewel free, each giving the other a respectful nod. But as soon as the jewel was back in the open water, the rivalry returned in full force. With one last burst of fishy energy, both captains lunged for the jewel at the exact same time. They collided with a mighty splosh, creating a wave that sent the jewel spinning across the tank and straight into the treasure chest. The jewel landed inside, and the chest lid closed with a quiet click. Both crews stared, stunned. The jewel of the deep was locked inside the treasure chest, lost for now. Captain Bubbles and Captain Finscary looked at each other, then burst out laughing. "Looks like we're both kings of Fishy Seas tonight," chuckled Captain Bubbles. "Aye, Bubbles," agreed Captain Finscary, "but next time, that jewel's mine." The Glub Glub gang and the Slick Fins cheered, shaking fins, tentacles, and tails, all agreeing to a truce. Until the next great battle. As the tank lights dimmed further, the fish, snails, and shrimp drifted back to their places, dreaming of the next grand adventure under the sea, in the great fishy seas of Happy Paws Pet Shop.